Hey everyone, what is up and welcome back to the channel. Today what I wanted to talk about was essentially kind of just covering why Season 29 is so important compared to any other season. If you do agree or disagree with my opinions, please leave your thoughts down in the comments. Nothing else much to say for today. I might do a stream tonight, I'm just saying, but it should be very interesting. I thought that this was a very interesting idea, so let's get right into it. So basically, what I think makes Season 29 so important is because of how new everything is. And not new as in a casual perspective, but in a competitive perspective. And there are a few factors that contribute to this, such as some racers being on such a higher level than any other racers that they can sway how teams work, or botters being on the website, and that can also sway how teams work. But let's quickly just look at the leaderboards right now. I do not want to call anyone out, but obviously we can see that a lot of these people are most likely not legitimate. And so this is a very interesting thing to bring up because pretty much all except for all except for Almighty and Drip Tide and Unavoidable, I do not know who these people are. And I did not know who they were until literally 2 or 3 days ago. And so it's kind of a interesting thing because if we look back on maybe season 26, obviously we knew that Kocho was there. We knew who Mal was. We knew who Shakegram was. These top three people, we knew who Wildflower was. I should know who this is, Arhum. But basically what I'm talking about, oh yeah, see Drip Tide. But yeah, basically what I want to talk about is the fact that this is such a new way of Nitro Type that we're going about. And what do you mean by new ace typer? And I'm kind of talking about the fact that NDB is first place, and they were formed like a week, if even ago, and it just shows how powerful some racers can be to sway teams into a spot. For example, Sharks or 5HRK got so powerful over just like a month or so because of the fact that they had all these grinders join their team. We can also see this with 2Hell. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's a botting team, but I'm not going to throw anything out there. We see this with SWTZ. They haven't ranked high before. We saw this with NGTH. We see this with Viv, too. They've never ranked particularly high because they're also a new team. NYM, we see that. Top God, DRPT. All of these teams have never ranked as high as they are right now. And it's not a bad thing, but at the same time, it totally affects how we see, or it totally affects how, the competitive meta of Nitro Type is. It's actually very interesting to see just kind of how these people are getting on the leaderboard so easily, because if we go back to even say season 10, right? We saw that Wildflower won this, Technically Fantastic, and then all of these other people are on here. I believe this is the season of the bots, so yep. But these players, all of these players are totally set to win a season, set to win another season. Like we remember the Wildflower Smithy reign, we remember and then we saw the Mal reign, and we saw the Titanium Tenons reign, and we even saw the Kocho reign. But I'm genuinely do think that this might be the start of a season where nobody reigns anymore. And whether this be because there are broaders on the site, whether this be because Nitro Type has gotten to such a competitive level that any consistency at the top level cannot go on for long, it kind of changes up a lot. I'm gonna bet that the top 5 players here, 4 out of the 5 or 80% of them will not place top 5 next season, or maybe all 100% of the top 5 players. And so that also brings up another kind of interesting question as to who will win this season. If these botters are, kept out of here, and if they're banned, I see Almighty winning it. They have the point efficiency, and they're not botting, I believe. I believe they're just account sharing. So if they're not banned, I see them winning it. It's all totally as to like how Nitrotype wants to handle the botters, wants to handle the cheaters, and kind of what they choose to do with their game is what will happen with the game. So yeah, that's what we're kind of seeing on racers. If we go back to the last 24 hours, the sheer kind of grindiness that we see right now, like we see like even the top 10, 140 words per minute, 1,100 races. Like that's literally your entire day just to get in the top 10. So it really does show like just how much of a kind of grinder that you have to be. Um, yeah, obviously we can't really tell yet what will be on the leaderboards or who will be at the top on the leaderboards. It's usually too early to tell. But then again, last season we saw Kocho basically hold it for like 75% of the season until Aiden obviously threw or overthrew her. But that's kind of what we can see in this case. Then going on to the fastest racer leaderboards or fastest racer leaderboards, don't even try to ask me why Fingers Go Boom is not banned yet. Oh my goodness. Like honestly, I think this is like the most prospering bot on the Season Hall of Fame just yet. 200 words per minute, 218 top, 524 races in the past 24 hours. I mean, it's pretty obvious. But that being said, however, it kind of goes back to something that I kind of want to say like a millennial approach. It sounds really weird and it sounds really corny, but everyone who's like under the age of 40 probably has a ridiculously short attention span now. And that's kind of what we can kind of analogize to when it comes to these racers. Because anybody at a ridiculously high level cannot stay there for a long time anymore. That's just how competitive Nitro Type has become, and that's probably just how it will become. And that is why I mentioned to titanium tendons, amongst other people, that I do not see. I genuinely do not see. I really don't. I don't see another Mal rain. I don't see another Wildflower rain. I don't see another Smithy rain. I don't see another SSH rain. Nobody's that consistent anymore. If we go to top teams and we go to like number 10, say Talk, right? They have already done 26,000 races. They have done 5,000 in the past 24 hours, and they're 10th place. That is literally 100 races a day for everyone on this team. And it really just goes to show that we don't see, or at least I don't see, as I said before, anybody having that reign. And it should be interesting to see who will prevail this season, just because of the sheer fact that it's all new racers. And each season, I really do see somebody new winning a season. You can take that either way you want. If you want diversity, that's good. However, at the same time, it's gone to that point of competitiveness where people literally have to throw their life away for 3 months or throw their life away for 2 months just to win a season. And then obviously they can't do that every single season anymore. Think about it as like Titanium Tendons had to literally grind his season 21 grinding all day, every day, literally every season to stay on top. And that's one of the reasons that there is no possible way that somebody can win another season consecutively for a long time. Do I see somebody winning 2 seasons in a row? Yeah. Do I see somebody winning 3 seasons in a row? Maybe. I mean, we didn't even see Kocho win 3 seasons in a row. That's kind of just how inconsistent. Kocho arguably brought a new kind of competitive scene to Nitro Type. The competitive scene on Nitro Type was already always pretty competitive, but Kocho kind of brought it to a new era of account sharing and botting and, all of these point efficiency techniques. All of that kind of stuff kind of revamped itself as Kocho kind of came into the field. And obviously, if we go to season 28, we see that Dre overthrew it, and then we saw that, so firstly we saw that Aiden overthrew Kocho, and then they both gave up, and then Dre overthrew Kocho, and then Dre overthrew Aiden, and then Kocho came back to play second. If we do look at Kocho's account, I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that she's not doing any more grinding, and that's a pretty good thing. She has exactly 1 billion cash. That's pretty nice. And then obviously it says on the last 24 hours that that's 113, but it looks like that's just a glitch. I do think that we don't see anybody really having a great and amazing impact on the game anymore. We're not going to see these consistency records break for a long time, in my opinion. Obviously, 12 seasons in a row is what? If you have 2 months maybe for a season, and it's 12 seasons in a row, that's like what? 24 months, and yeah, it's literally like 2 years, right? But that reign, I don't see that happening. None of these reigns I see happening. I don't see any botters getting banned anytime soon just because there's so many of them. And that's why I kind of want to quickly, before I wrap up this video, bring up the fact that titanium tendons idea, kind of talk about it a little bit. So if you don't know, if you haven't watched it already, or if you haven't watched Penguin Typer's video already, it basically talks about moderators kind of helping the site out, and both Penguin Typer and Titanium Tendons brought up very good points. I would like to see a variation of it happen, but obviously with good and trustworthy people of the community. I definitely see a lot of people being able to do that job, but just in general, having maybe, I think Titanium Tenant said 4 or 5 people. I would say even more. I'd say like 6 or 7. Obviously, you need to have that kind of dedication to the game, which I definitely see in a lot of people in the community. I think somebody like Titanium Tens would be a great person to do it because he knows what a botter looks like, and he knows how they work, kind of, in a way. So I think people like that would be a great addition to the community. They obviously don't have to be paid, and they obviously shouldn't be paid. I mean, just banning bots. But I mean, I don't know. I get paid. I would like to get paid, but I'm sure that's like a total legal thing. But yeah, do you think it's a really interesting idea? I also think at the same time, it's a idea that would have to be worked out very well. It would have to be kind of in close contact with the admins, and the admins would have to be open to it. The community would have to be open to it, and there would really have to be a lot of investigation as to who can win in this, or as to who can get banned, because that's a lot of influence. Obviously, you don't want to put like a random person who's completed 100 races onto the moderation team just because of the simple fact that they probably wouldn't have any idea as to what is happening. But having those experienced racers who know what grinding is, who know what true speed is, and who know what botting looks like is a great way to keep the site clean and to kind of keep the consistency going. I do think while it's not a bad thing that consistency or that inconsistency is starting, I think that it definitely could be better. But obviously, it's just how the native nitro type is changing. Thank you everyone for watching today. If you did get to the end, comment down below saying like I got to the end or something. Or no, comment down below saying like what should we say? Comment down below saying like 6,618. That's my rank for the season. So 6,618. Comment that down below, and I will give you a big heart and say you're a real fan, probably. Thank you everyone for watching. I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the description. Do you like those consistency or that consistency in seasons, or would you like to see a new player win every season? It should be very interesting as to how this season plays out and how any other season plays out. I'm pretty interested. Thank you everyone for watching today, and as always, have an amazing day. Quote Penguin Typer, and from the bottom of my heart, have an amazing day as well for me.